one child, what support can you get? So you're going to get most of your support through your funding body. So if you're doing a nursing degree, that'll be the Business Services Organisation, and all other courses will be applying through Student Finance NI. So they will look at your household income and how many kids you have and assess your application accordingly. You may be eligible for universal credit as well to help with housing and possibly any childcare costs. So if you're not too sure what you're eligible for, you can go to the nidirect.gov.uk website, or you can speak with our UU Advice Bureau if you're having issues around applying for support.
My parents and I no longer speak. I'm now living away from home, but my student finance is still based on their income. Unfortunately, you need to be estranged from your parents for a minimum of 12 months before you can submit an application to student finance as an independent student. In the meantime, I would recommend having a look at the student money section of the Ulster Wellbeing website. Check whether there's any grants or scholarships there that you might be eligible to apply for, and submit an application to us for financial support. The application form and the list of evidence required are all on our website, and it's quite quick and easy to complete.
I've lost my job and usually use the money I get from it to pay for the remainder of my rent. Yeah, it's really tough out there at the moment. The job market is particularly tough, and there's so many people out of work looking for work, and it can be disheartening when you don't seem to be getting anywhere with applications, applying. I would encourage you to keep checking the job sites such as Job Centre Online and Job Finder NI. You could try signing up to some local recruitment agencies, and they often have short-term temporary posts available, which, whilst they're not ideal, but at least they would tide you over for the time being, get a little bit of extra income in to supplement your student loans. Also, don't forget that a lot of the major high street stores and supermarkets do advertise some of their vacancies on their websites rather than going through some of the job centre or job sites. So it might be worthwhile having a look at the shop's own websites to see if there's any vacancies coming up. In terms of recruitment agencies, they will look for a CV most likely to have on file. So this might be the time maybe to have a look at your CV, make sure that it's up to date, make sure you have all your educational and academic achievements up to date on it. If you are struggling with this or you're not sure where to start with a CV, if you have a look at the Employability and Careers Department website within the university, they have some fantastic information on there and help and support with the likes of writing up your CV and job skills, interview skills, that type of thing. So have a look at them. But as I say, keep persevering, don't give up. If you are struggling financially at the moment and you're finding that you're relying more and more on your overdraft to cover your daily living costs, such as your food, utilities, and your rent, then you may be eligible to apply for financial support from us. All the information is on the website, and you can, if you go to the Student Wellbeing website and financial support webpage, all the information and all the instructions are on there.
Will the university be understanding if the first payment might be delayed because of student finance? So basically, as long as you've applied for your student finance and indicated when you registered that your fees were going to be covered by student finance, the university will know that that money's coming through from student finance. Typically, it takes 6 to 8 weeks for your application to be fully processed. Around November each year, the university will send out a reminder to anybody who hasn't actually made the first instalment of their fees. If that's the case come that time, you may need to chase up your application with the Education Authority just to make sure that it has been received and it is being processed.
Do I qualify for an allied health bursary, or am I exempt because I live at home? So allied health bursaries are means tested the same as student finance NI. So provided you've sent them all your documents, the details of your family income, all the usual stuff you send to student finance, they will assess it, they'll be able to check whether or not you qualify, and you'll get an update through from them and let you know the figures and details for the year.
If we go on to do a master's after undergrad, when do we start paying off our loans? So all student loans, you start to pay them off once you are working and earning a salary of £19,390 or more, and any postgraduate tuition fee loan that you apply for and receive will be added on to your undergraduate loan. So you're only paying off technically one loan. It's just made up of your undergrad loans and your postgraduate loans. This may change in the next few years. Every couple of years they tend to increase it slightly, but at the moment that's what it is. We have some information on our website, but if you want more information, more detailed information, Money Saving Expert website, Martin Lewis, has done a video of repayment of loans and fees, and if that's what you're interested in finding out, then certainly I would recommend that you watch his video.
My grant still hasn't come in. Should I contact the Education Authority? So depending on when you applied for your student finance, it can take typically 6 to 8 weeks. If they have all your information and all your details, if you've confirmed your household income, everything like that, I would contact them if it has been past that 6 to 8 time frame. If you have received your notification of entitlement, so that's your letter from Student Finance confirming how much you're eligible to receive this year. If there's no grant listed in that, you've been assessed without your household income. So if you check out our website, so that's ulster.ac.uk/SMA, and under funding your studies, it details how you can get reassessed with your household income.
Advice to get out of a student housing contract. We leave that to the experts in the Student Union. They're great at all that information. They're great at advocating for students, for helping you with correspondence to landlords and things like that. And they're generally the most up to date on students' housing and rights and all that information. So I would recommend having a wee check of the Student Union website, checking who your person is for your campus, and contacting them and seeing what information they can help you with.
Does Student Finance pay for postgraduate tuition and or maintenance loans, say for 1 year? You can apply to Student Finance for a postgraduate tuition fee loan only. That's a max of £5,500. If you've completed your undergrad with UU and you're coming back to do your postgrad with UU, you may be eligible for the alumni discount, so any difference you have to pay yourself will be reduced. If you are studying a postgrad over 2 or 3 years, Student Finance will simply split the £5,500 over those 3 years to help cover your fees. Unfortunately, there's no maintenance loans for postgraduate students, so you need to consider, do you have enough part-time work to fund you yourself while you're studying your postgrad, or do you maybe have some savings behind you to cover your daily expenses?
My workplace is closed down and apparently I don't qualify for furlough. I have tried looking for work near where I live, but there is nothing. I can't drive and I just need part-time work. Like, why am I even going to uni? Will I even get a job out of it? Even the amount of stories I've heard of people ending up not where they want to be, it's starting to scare me and I don't know what to do. Okay, so I'm really sorry that you're feeling that way, and yes, the job markets are particularly tough these days with so many people looking for work, and it can be very disheartening. What I would say is keep persevering with it. Don't give up just yet. There are jobs out there, few and far between that they are, but they are out there. It also might be an idea to sign up to some of the local recruitment agencies as well. They often have short-term temporary posts available, particularly around this time of year, coming up to the Christmas vacation time. A lot of the larger supermarkets and high street stores do tend to advertise vacancies on their website as well. They may not go through the job site channels. In terms of agencies, they probably will require you to give them a copy of your CV. So it might be a good time now to get the CV out, dust it off if you have one. If you haven't got one, it might be an idea to get one started. If you're having any difficulties with a CV or you want any support with that, if you go to the Employability and Careers Department within the university, they have excellent help with that. And if you visit their website, there's lots of information on there about CVs, job skills, interview skills, and everything else. In terms of financial support and your finances, This might be a good time as well to dust out the old budget if you have one.
So any good ways to organise bills? I need help with income/outgoings. So that's a great question. So the first thing you really need to do is make sure you have a good budget in place. So take note of everything that you have coming in, whether it's your student finance or part-time wages, or maybe you've got some family support coming in during the month. Add all that together, that'll give you your income, and then be realistic about what you have going out. Take a good look at all those essential spends first. So the likes of your Wi-Fi, your electric, your mortgage, your fuel to get you back and forward if you're studying on campus, everything you have to pay during the month. I typically get those paid out of what I call a bills account. So it's basically just a bank account set up that all my standing orders and direct debits come out of. For the likes of groceries, personal care, things like that, I have a cash account set up, so I allocate a certain amount every month into that cash account, and basically by the end of the month, if you're running a bit low, you do find inventive ways of using up the food in the cupboards, which can obviously save you a few pennies too. What you might want to consider doing is giving yourself pocket money. Sounds maybe quite childish, but it's actually quite a good idea. Allocate yourself a certain amount each month and use that for socialising when we're back to normal, or meeting friends for coffee, or if you're buying yourself a takeaway or the likes of things like that. Whenever the money runs out, you know that's it. Don't be dipping in to the likes of overdrafts or your savings to cover anything like that. It's technically not an essential spend, and realistically you're just going to spend a night in the house looking after yourself if you do run out of money.
I need financial support. I have an unconditional offer from UU. Next step is payment of initial deposit. This question is a little more difficult to answer, as I probably would need a bit more information from the person who sent this in, as I'm not sure if they are a current student, i.e. registered now for this academic year, or if this is in reference to somebody who's going to be starting in 21-22 academic year. What I will do is I will go through a couple of different answers that I've mentioned as a current student or a prospective student. Hopefully it might help somebody who's listening to this. However, I'll take it from the viewpoint that this person is a student but hasn't applied for their student finance NI. For which I would say apply as soon as you can. You can continue to apply through student finance NI for up to 9 months after the start date of your course, the first day of the start of your course. So they're still taking applications now. It just means that you haven't had any funding through yet, so you may be having financial difficulties. If you have already applied but still haven't heard any word back from them yet, you haven't had your application processed, I would recommend that you get in contact with your local education authority student finance section, as they're the ones that actually process the applications. You can contact them, you can get their details by going onto Student Finance NI website and then going into the tab that says find your local office. Go into that tab and you have to put in your home postcode. That's not your student accommodation postcode, your home postcode, and that will pull up the details for your local office, telephone and email details. So get in contact with them. It may be that they're still processing your application, or it could be that they're waiting on additional evidence from you, and until they receive it they can't continue to process it. So it's better to check that out just to make sure that it's not something that you have to do rather than they have to do. So answer 2, I'm going to take this as this is a prospective student who has applied and will be starting in September 2021. If this is the case, then applications for student finance NI open around April or May time prior to the start of the course. So you're talking about April 2021. I usually recommend that prospective students start checking the Student Finance NI website from beginning of April, and then just logging in every now and again or checking in every now and again. And as soon as the application process opens for new students, get your application in as soon as possible. It just gives you peace of mind then that once you've got your entitlement letter from them, once they've assessed you, and you'll know then moving forward what you're going to be starting with in September and the dates that you're going to receive your instalments for your maintenance support as well.
I need part-time work. So check out the Employability and Careers website. There's information there on how to create a CV, how to really sell yourself with your skills and qualities that you can bring to an employer. Make sure you check out all the local recruitment agencies too. You can register with them. You can also check out the likes of Job Centre NI or NI Job Finder.
Is there extra finance available to EU students who are struggling to get a job? Short answer, no. There's no additional funding available to EU students other than the EU tuition fee loan, which is done through EU Student Finance. If you haven't already applied for this, I would urge you to do so. If you're currently self-funding your fees, if you've saved some money towards your fees, now might be a time to apply for the tuition fee loan, whereby EU Student Finance will pay the university directly, which means that will free up some of the money that you have put aside to pay for your fees, and you'll be able to use them to help pay for your day-to-day living costs. If you have applied for the tuition fee loan and you are still struggling, that you were depending on your job or a job to help subsidise your day-to-day living costs, what I would say is continue looking for jobs. If, as I say, you have applied for your tuition fee loan and you are struggling financially and you're finding it very difficult to meet your day-to-day costs, you may be eligible for some financial support from ourselves. If you go to the Student Wellbeing website and look for the financial support webpage, there is a link there for EU, ROI and international students, and all the eligibility criteria and instructions on how to apply for financial support. It's a one-off payment, but if it helps you out at a time when you need it most, then absolutely get your application in and we will get you assessed for that. My funding is still in process and I'm scared I'll miss the deadline. First of all, don't panic. Student Finance and I do give students a deadline, but the deadline is really there to ensure that anybody applying has their funding in place prior to the start of the semester, so prior to September. Student Finance and I continue to process applications for up to 9 months into the academic year, so usually around Easter time of the following year that you can still apply for the academic year you're in. If you want to know the status of your application, then I would encourage you to get in touch with your local education authority student finance section, as they are the people that actually process the applications when they come in. You can do this. You can find out the number, get the details, contact details for your education authority by logging into Student Finance NI, and there's a tab at the top that says find your local office. So if you click on that and put in your home postcode, that's your home postcode, not your student accommodation postcode, your home postcode, and that will pull up the details for your local education authority. Get in contact with them. It may be that your application is being processed and is just going through the motions. However, there could be additional information required from you, and this may be holding up. So it's best to check it to make sure that you have everything in that you need to put in so that they can assess your application.